Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft to Glory franchise mode here in NHL 23. So in last episode, we took on the Los Angeles Kings in the first round, and we managed to bounce them in 5 games, but it was a very tight series for the most part, because the first game we outscored them by 3 goals, but then the next 4 games were all 1-goal games. 3 of them went to overtime, one of them was a regulation win, so yeah, it was a very tight series, but we managed to get to the second round, and now we're going to be taking on the Seattle Kraken. I am hoping that our depth scoring can continue on the path that it's on right now, because the depth scoring has been fantastic for the most part. There has been 2 guys, though, that haven't showed up at all so far, those being Darby and Danner. Both of them have yet to pick up a point in this playoff run, so hopefully the 2 of them could get going a little bit, because both of them should be the type of guys to pick up points. Danner's an offensive defenseman, Darby's a goal scorer, so hopefully they pick it up a little bit. But other than that, pretty solid depth scoring throughout our entire lineup, so just got to keep on this trend and hope that works out. Also, hopefully Pusher can kind of return to form a little bit. He hadn't had a really good first round. Like the first game, he was good. The next few games afterwards, even though he was winning games, weren't really good in terms of save percentage. So I did give Novikov the chance to close out the series, and he was actually really good. So Novikov might get some more starts in this episode. But other than that, I am excited to see what our team can do against the Kraken. Hopefully we can get to that third round. The Kraken obviously still looking, I think, to win a first Stanley Cup, because I think they haven't done that yet, because Boris Zikov has yet to win, I'm pretty sure, a Stanley Cup with another team, which he is still currently with the Kraken. Yeah, they have a pretty good team. There's a couple guys that we would remember from prior years, especially like Jacobson, Kidd as well, because Kidd used to play for Vegas. We played Vegas quite a bit in the playoffs, but a lot of these other guys, kind of average players, some of them really good. And in this defensive core, this top 6 pairing is pretty weak, but I have seen worser defensive cores win Stanley Cups, including ours. So there's that. They also have some solid goaltending, solid depth, so it's not a bad team overall-wise. Technically, on paper, when we were looking at the overall rating, we were the better offensive team. They were better in terms of just like being an all-around team. So hopefully we can play good defensively in this next round, and hopefully our offense can continue on the path that it was on. So there is that. Let's get into round number 2 against the Seattle Kraken and see if we could get ourselves to a conference finals again. I always think this window is closed with this team, and then eventually it seems like this team always overperforms. So we'll see if we're able to get to that conference finals again. The winner of this series will face either Winnipeg or Anaheim. And then in the East, you have still the Islanders and Canes, Florida, and Columbus. Here we go. Game number 1. Let's get this win here on home ice. We've been really good on home ice so far. We've won every home game we've played. So let's see if we can continue that momentum a little bit. First period of game 1. And we're down 1-0. That's not a great start, but it's not a terrible start. Either shots are dead even, 12-12. With Jacobson scoring that first goal. So not a surprise that their top line best player gets them on the board, but hopefully we have an answer for that in the second period. Pusher is in net. If he has a little bit of a rough game this game, I might honestly go back to Novikov already, just because, yeah, Pusher, like I said, he's been a little bit inconsistent despite winning games. Can we tie this game up or take the lead in the second period? Second period? That's not great. Jacobson scores a natural hat trick against Pusher. Yeah, we definitely need to contain that guy. He is definitely the drive of offense that they have. Like, he could honestly will that team to a Stanley Cup. I could see it. But DeMarchi pulls us back on the board, which is great. He's been actually a really solid 4th liner so far for us this season. Shots are 29-19 now in favor of the Kraken, so we got completely outplayed that period. And yeah, Jacobson so far is a one-man show. Can we get back into this game, or are we going to drop our first game on home ice of the series? Come on, boys. Power play early into the third. It's a long one, and we did not capitalize, but we do score afterwards. It is Frederick Bickle. Let's go, Bickle. Another power play opportunity, and we do score this time around. It's Ricardo Hartnell. So maybe the refs are favoring us a little bit, giving us some power plays. Ted Darby, I called on you. You did not have any goals, any points in the first round. He gives us the lead for the first time in this game, and Envico gets the empty netter. Let's go. That is a fantastic first game. We got completely outplayed in the first 2 periods. And then this team wills itself back into the game. Has a long power play, doesn't score, but gains some momentum, scores a goal. Then gets another power play, scores a goal. Then Darby scores, and Envico gets the empty net. Shots were 33 to 32 at the end of it, so we had a very solid third period, if I'm not mistaken, shot-wise. Yeah, 13 to 4. They outshot us 17 to 12 though in that second, so that's why we lost the lead there. But what a game. What a game for this team. Let's go to all events here. Yeah, Jacobson was a one-man show. Him, Bus, and Culp pretty much, because all those guys had multiple points. But DeMarchi from Hagos, Bickle from Claxon and Darby, Hartnell from Bickle and Vico, Darby from Bickle and Claxon, and Vico from Danner and Claxon. So Claxon had a really good game. Not a surprise, though. That guy is really underrated. Him and Bickle both had 3 points. Vico and Darby with 2 points, and then a couple guys with 1 point only. Any badly minus guys only, Smith Pelly, the youngster, -2. And then goalie-wise, Pusher was, I wouldn't say terrible, but he wasn't really that great either. He'll be probably in that next game as well, but we definitely need to find a way to slow down Jacobson, because he gets first start of the game in that loss, which is funny. Bickle the second start, and Darby the third. That's good to see Darby pick up 2 points, though. Like I said, he had no points in the first round, so we needed him to get going. We also need Danner to get going a little bit, and then everything will be good, because literally everybody on our team almost has points now in this playoff run. So that's a great way to start it off. That's the first loss the Kraken have had this postseason. Can we hand them 2 losses in a row? That'd be awesome. But you know they're going to come out a little bit angry, considering they had the lead 3-1 and then they blew it. So here we go. Let's see what happens in Game 2. We'll keep the team as is, but if Pusher has another game where his goals against average is like above 3 or his save percentage is below 900, I think I might turn to Novikov just to give him a little bit more of a break. Here we go. Let's see what happens. First period of game number 2. And we're down 2-1, so I don't like that they're scoring consistently against us, but I mean, at least we're hanging in this game again still. Durrett scores, Vico ties it up on the power play, so our power play is still doing pretty good. And then Peros gave them the lead back. Shots are 13-11 in favor of the Kraken. Can we tie it up in the second period, or have at least a better second period than last game? Because last game is where we almost lost the game. Our second period, we almost lost the game because of that. Come on, boys. Second period. Oh, my goodness. Okay, yeah, we definitely need to change things up. And Pusher, you're definitely out next game. Oh, my goodness. We're down 5-1, so I don't think we're going to rally in this game, but Zikov scores, Jacobson scores again, Korpakari scores. Yeah, that Jacobson guy is pretty good, pretty damn good. Shots are 24-17, so at least that's somewhat close, but being down by 4 goals going into the third, it's pretty much a write-off that we're not going to win this one, but let's see if we can at least get a couple goals to get some momentum. DeMarchi makes it 5-2. Not bad. Can we get some other goals? Let's go. Bickle makes it 5-3. Can we have a historic comeback in this game? We're down by only 2 goals. We just need one more to maybe give them a chance. Come on, boys. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though, because now we're not scoring. That's unfortunate, but at least we got some goals to get back into the game kind of in the third period. But we do lose 5-4? Yep, 5-4. We almost won that game if we didn't have that bad of a second period again. Glencross almost tied the game up technically, because if they didn't score one more goal in that second period, we would have tied the game right there. But that sucks, losing by 5-4. So another game where it was a 1-goal game, because we've had a lot of those in this series. Most of the time we win, but that was our first loss on home ice this playoff run. Vico from Bickle and Darby, and then DeMarchi from Glencross and Hagos, Bickle from Claxon, Glencross from Vico and Hagos. Yeah, Jacobson is definitely the key there for them. He gets first star for back-to-back games. I think I'm definitely taking Pusher out next game, but I definitely need to think about what else we need to do, because there's definitely something we need to try and shake up a little bit, because literally the last 6 games have been almost all 1-goal games, except for this game here, where we won by a empty netter, pretty much. Got an empty net goal as well. So that is a bit concerning that we've been in a lot of tight games, but as well that helps teams be better under pressure when you're in those type of situations, right? So Novikov back in as a starter. I might change up the defensive pairings a little bit here. Ooh, I like that. I like that. So Smith Pelly, you're gonna be playing with Danner. And then Bomeister, you're gonna be playing with Kalinin. Strachan and House. Oh man, Strachan's dropped off a cliff. I didn't even realize. He's now to a 75. So that might be part of our problem. He is a +3 though. But Strachan is likely to retire this offseason as well. So this might be his last run at another Stanley Cup. Yeah, and there's nobody in the minors that I would want to call up anyways, too. There is some good young talent in terms of offense, but I don't think the offense is the problem. It's obviously more so the defense. I could move Hagos up over Zikov because Zikov has started to be a little bit more quiet. And Hagos has got 6 points in 7 games. Let's do that. Let's move Hagos up, Zikov to the 4th line. I do like Zikov a lot, but he needs to maybe get a little bit of a shakeup. That's the only thing offensively I'll change. And then, yeah, this defensive core looks better with the chemistry, so hoping that Novikov could play good because of that chemistry in front of him. But here we go, game number 3. We're now in Seattle, so we need to at least take one of these 2 games because I don't want to drop both games in Seattle. Let's try and shut down Jacobson, and then from there, score goals. Because if we get shut down Jacobson, we have a better shot at winning probably. First period of game 3. Up 2-1, I'll take it. I will take it. Bickle and Bouwmeester score, and then Morales gets them on the board. Shots are dead even 10-10, so pretty close period again. We've had a lot of close games so far in this playoff run, so hopefully we can use that to our advantage in a sense that we know that we could kind of play in these type of situations. Let's get some insurance in the second period, make it a little bit easier for us to breathe. Second period. Oh my goodness. Novikov just completely blew it in that period. We were up 2-1, now we're down 4-2. Yeah, we definitely need to change things up a little bit. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe I will put Volk in net, as I'm trying to go to like the last resort. As I honestly think the Kraken might be able to win this series just based on the fact that Jacobson and the offense on the Kraken has seemed to be doing pretty good. That's not good. Let's have a strong third period here, or else we're down 2-1 in the series, and then we're going to have to win the next game. Come on, boys. Let's get one and then maybe get another. Come on. Yeah, I think I might turn to Volk next game or to Bissick, because both goaltenders right now are not doing the job. And Jacobson scores again. Yeah, I don't like that guy at all. He's a great player, but he is scoring too much against us, and we lose 5-2. And yeah, we're definitely struggling defensively in this series. Definitely, because we had a 2-0 series, or 2-0 lead in this game, and then we dropped allowed 5 unanswered goals. That second period again, we've consistently had bad second periods, which is not good. Bickle from Darby and Claxton, and Bouwmeester from Claxton and Bickle. Come on, guys. This might be the year that we end up losing a lot of people to retirement too. So losing like this would not be great. That's back-to-back games where we've allowed 5 goals against too. So yeah, I think I'm going to give a chance to one of the rando goalies. Might as well, considering that who knows who is here next year in terms of goaltending. So I will scratch Novikov, considering he was just bad that game. We're going to give Volk the opportunity here because he has yet to play an NHL game. It was Bissick that got last year in the playoffs. And Volk was fantastic last year in the AHL playoffs. So Walker Volk, you're getting the chance. Let's see if you can get us the wins. See if you can get us the wins. Maybe be the new Aiden Tays. Who knows? In terms of other changes, I don't think there's anything else I want to flip around. The Murchie's been great, but I feel like I should change up maybe something on the 4th line. Yeah, the 4th line's actually been fantastic. Yeah, the 4th line was fantastic, so I shouldn't... I'm going to put Hagos back to the 4th line because I want that 4th line to get going again. In terms of this, let's put Bickle on the top line with Parrott and Keith. Reunite the old top line I think we used to have. And then, yeah, Hartnell will play on the 2nd line. And we'll see if that gets anything going. Because this might be the last hurrah for a couple guys. Like, there might be, like, 3 or 4 retirements this offseason. Like, we might lose Bickle, we might lose Strachan, Zikov. Like, it might be a really bad year for us in terms of that. Zikov also used to actually play for the Kraken, didn't he, this forward guy? No, he played for the Rangers. It's the defenseman I always think of that plays for the Kraken. I was thinking the forward did too, but I think he only played for the Rangers and in Ottawa when we were looking last. Okay, let's see if Walker Volk could get us this win, because this is a massive game. We win this game, at least it's a brand new series for the last 3 games, potentially. If we lose this one, though, we need to win 3 straight, which obviously we can do in the playoffs. We've done it against LA, but the Kraken are off to a really good start this playoff run, so it's a bit scary. They're 6-1 now. Here you go, boys. This is a must-win game. Let's win it. Let's win this, or else we're on the brink of elimination. First period of an all-important Game 4. 1-1, I'll take it. They scored first, though, which is not great, but Ted Darby scores again, so Darby at least is getting going still. I don't know if Danner has any points yet, which is a big concern. Shots are 14-10 in favor of us. It is a 1-1 game. Can we find a way to get a lead in the second period? We've had terrible second periods so far in this round. If we have a good second period here, maybe things are going to turn around for us. Second period? Okay, there we go. That's a good second period, and Darby scores again. It's a late goal in the second, but we are leading now this game going into the third period. And we didn't allow a single goal in the second period, so Volk is having a good game so far. Hopefully he keeps that up, though, in this third period. We're only up by a goal. We do need some insurance. Let's see what happens in this third period. Come on, boys. Get that next one. And, of course, we give up a goal early into the third. God damn it. Calder. Come on, guys. And they get the goal to take the lead. God damn it. We're losing this series for sure at this point. Parrott has also not scored goal number 100 yet in the playoffs, which is concerning because this might be it for him. He might retire this offseason randomly. And, yeah, we're down 3-1 in the series. We cannot find a way to win. That was a good game from Volk, though. I might honestly start the next game as well, but just rework our lineup a little bit. Darby from Hartnell and Claxton, and Darby from Claxton. Claxton has been elite in this playoff run, but nobody else really has been consistent like he has. Like, some people had really good first rounds, but Claxton seems to be like having multiple points every night. And the Kraken are now 7-1 in the playoffs. We need to win 3 straight games. The odds are definitely against us here. Bickle's leading the team in points in the playoff run, but Parrott needs to find a way, because he has been astronomically quiet this playoff run, which makes me feel like retirement is coming. Considering this guy usually picks up like point per game in the playoffs, and he's only got 3 points this year, that's a concern. I think I am going to move him to the second line and then put him with Bickle and Claxton, because Claxton's been fantastic, so might as well put him with the best player on the team pretty much. Yeah, this might be it for a lot of guys. We easily could lose Parrott, Claxton, Bickle. We could lose Zikov. We could end up losing, who else was it? Strachan. Like, there's just too much players we could lose to retirement here if we end up losing the series. I am going to take out somebody on the fourth line. Who's been the worst? It's probably been DeMarchi, even though he's been good. I'm going to take DeMarchi out for 1 game. See if that helps something. We'll give Lucic a chance. We'll give Lucic a chance. He hasn't played all year. And then we'll flip Kalinin and Smith-Pelly. We could also lose Kalinin this year, too. I forgot about that, because Kalinin is 35. He is still listed as a top 6, though, so he might be okay to come back next year. But there's a chance this might be the last time you see a bunch of these guys. And that's a bit concerning. Here we go. Real-time simulation. We're back on home ice. We need to win 3 straight games, or else we're eliminated in the second round. We've had this type of scenario where we've came back before in the playoffs, but I don't know about this year. I honestly don't. The Krakens just seem to be a possessed team right now. Let's do a real-time simulation, see if we could fight off elimination and get ourselves and win here. As the Kraken open the scoring immediately. I forgot Pusher's in net. I should have put Vulcan. Made the mistake of putting Pusher in net, and now he's allowed 2 goals in the first period, and now he's allowed 3. Yeah, we're definitely losing this game. There's no way I see us coming back from this 3-0 deficit or coming back from a 3-1 series deficit if we're going to consistently allow goals. Yeah, I should have probably changed goaltenders again. And, yeah, that's not a good start. If we can at least get 1 or 2 goals back, then we're back in this game. But still, we have a long hill to climb. Okay, let's see what happens in the second period. See if we get at least 1 goal back into this game. But looks like if Parrott retires this year, he will not hit 100 playoff goals. Volk is now in net, and he's allowed 2 goals. 5 goals against on 10 shots. And now we finally get our first goal. Only took half the game. But we had 5 goals against on 10 shots. And there's another goal against. Yeah, we're definitely losing, guys. Unless we have a random comeback where we win 7-6. Parrott scores his 100th goal of his playoff career, so at least he gets that. That's at least a positive to take away, but this team's down by 4 goals. So congrats to the Kraken on going to the conference finals, but this is where this journey might end for a lot of players. And who knows, we might not get another shot at a Stanley Cup. Jacobson scores, Bus scores. Jeez, man, can't we stop a puck? 8 goals against on 20-something shots? Like, Volk is playing like trash, too. Hey, Darby makes it 8-3. Let's go. We got another goal at least, but too late by a large margin. And, yeah, we lose 8-3 in a must-win game on home ice. We allowed 8 goals on 28 shots. Wow. I'm not mad, I'd say, because we've won 2 cups, but man, that was a rough time. They are definitely, I'd say, a team that could win a Stanley Cup based on how good of an offense they had against us. I'm glad that Parrott got that last goal, though, because if he does retire, I would be mad if he had like 99 career playoff goals only. Glenn Cross from Keith and Danner, so Danner picks up a point. Was that his only point to the playoffs? It might have been. Parrott from Bickle and Darby from Keith and Hartnell. Also, Darby, I believe, is a pending UFA this year, so that's a bit scary. Is it this last time we see a bunch of retirements, or a bunch of these guys on our team? Is it the last time we see a bunch of those guys? After winning in 5, we end up losing in 5. And the Jets also won in 5, so it's the Jets and Kraken in the conference finals. Carolina will play maybe Florida like in real life, but obviously this is much years into the future. But let's take a look at our player stats. This might be the last time we see a lot of these guys, like I said, which is very concerning. We tried to run it back with some old guys, did not work out the way we wanted. Keith and Claxton both 11 points in 10 games. This is probably getting close to the end for Miles Claxton. Maybe not the last year for him, but might be. Derek Keith is still a few years away, so that's good. Ricardo Hartnell is not going to retire. Zikov probably retires, considering he's listed as a depth forward, bottom 6 guy as well. He had a good first round, but his second round, he did not do anything. And yeah, Avery Parrott had his worst playoffs of his NHL career. But if this is the end for him, he had 100 goals in 164 playoff games. Like, his shooting percentage goes up from the regular season to the playoffs, 14.1 to 16.2. So shout out to Parrott. Maybe a Channel Hall of Famer, probably a Channel Hall of Famer. Bickle had 12 points in 10 games. We tried to get this guy a Stanley Cup, which he has never won before. He actually played in San Jose, I forgot, last year. He played 1 year in San Jose. I always think of him as a Dallas Star after us, but that's it. Vico, 8 points, pretty good. Darby had a really good second round, but it wasn't enough. Agos had a rough time in the plus-minus department. Bobkov as well. Lucic was a -3 in his only playoff game. God damn. Maybe we shouldn't have put Lucic in the lineup. And Glenn Cross was pretty good. Defensively, no defenseman had any points in almost in the next round. Danner picked up 2 assists, but Bouwmeester -6. Oof. He had a rough time, I guess, in that game. And all goalies were trash. If goaltending was better, like if we had Aiden Tays, maybe we would have won a Stanley Cup, but he was bad last year too. So goaltending has seemed to be a bit of a problem for us in these later years. That sucks. The question is, are we going to lose a bunch of these guys to retirement? We got to take a look at the awards and stuff, wrap up this year. Normally I would wait till the next episode to show you guys retirements and stuff, but I need to know. I got to get that closure on a lot of those guys, if they end up retiring or not. The Seattle Kraken go on to win the Stanley Cup, so at least we lose to the best team in the league. But I was kind of figuring that Seattle would win the Stanley Cup based on that 7-1 record that they had, or 8-1 record they had against teams after the first 2 rounds. Let's take a look at that playoff tree. So after us, they won in 5 as well against the Jets. So it literally only took them, let's see, how many games? 9 games. Wait, yeah, 9 games. It literally only took them 14 games to get to the Stanley Cup Finals, and then they won in 7 games against Carolina. Imagine if they would have lost. They would have felt like trash about that. But that's a historic playoff run there for the Kraken. And actually, wait a second. Yeah, that means Boris Zikov is the Stanley Cup champion. So shout out to our former defenseman who has now won a Stanley Cup with Seattle. At least that's something positive we could take away from that defeat, is that Zikov finally got a cup. He was over point per game as well. But yeah, Jacobson's definitely the Conn Smythe winner. So shout out to Boris Zikov. He's finally on top of the hockey world. I didn't know if he was going to get a chance to do that, but he finally gets it. Because we've eliminated the Kraken a lot of times in the playoffs before, so he finally got his chance. There we go. And yeah, we won the President's Trophy, so the President's Trophy curse continues, not a surprise. Bieksa wins the Art Ross, Ernie the Hart, Sarno the Norris, Tooten the Bing, Pekarainen the Calder, Jacobson won the Conn Smythe, not a surprise, Higgins the Vesna, and the Jennings, Palmanville the Masterton, Cormier the Adams, Derek Heath did win the Selke, let's go. That's his second career Selke. He had one, I think, in his second season or first season, and then he didn't win one since because Charlie Guerin and Nighty and stuff like that always won them. But finally, Derek Heath gets another Selke, so shout out to him. I thought he was going to be the next Jääskeläinen, but he has not had that luxury of winning a lot. And then Ernie with the Lindsay and Mangone with the Richard. AHL-wise, do we have any awards? Does not look like it. No. It's kind of a surprise. The good thing is we do have some good young talent that will get a chance next year if we do have retirements, so at least that's a positive. Let's see who is going to retire this year, and wow. Toronto moves from 11-1 in the draft lottery. That's hilarious. 5-2 for Arizona, and New Jersey falls back to 3. Oof. Let's see what we are working with retirement-wise. Okay, I had to make sure my video was not frozen, because if it was frozen, then I would hate to not see all these player stats, but it looks like we didn't lose anybody based on this, which would be a massive surprise. Yeah, I don't think we lost anybody. Unless there's somebody with lower points than 700, but let's go to each position, see what was retired. So Zegers retires. He's the best player by far, just under point per game. That's crazy. Dvorsky, Holloway. Let's see. Looking for former players as well, just because I always like to take a look at that. Yeah, there's not actually that much retirements this year. It's kind of a surprise. I do remember this Pierce Dolan guy, though, from, like, year 1. Huh. Oh, there's one retirement that used to play for us. Pierce Hull, former 5th rounder of us in 2025, has finally called it quits at the age of 35. He has not played in, like, a decade, though, after a really good AHL season. Was not a terrible NHLer, but he never really lived up to expectations. He did have, like, low top 6 potential, though, I think. But he retires. So there we go. One former player. Any other former players? Because I don't think we lost anybody on our actual roster. Yeah, we didn't lose anybody on our actual roster in terms of the forward core. I am really surprised. I thought Zikov and Bickle were gone for sure. Especially Zikov. Huh. Defensively, Denton Matejchuk's the biggest defenseman to retire. Or the best defenseman to retire. Gustavs Kravchenko. This guy was a 3rd overall pick in 2024, so we could have probably had a chance to draft that guy at one point, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, we did lose one guy to retirement. It was one defender, and that is Keegan Strachan. He is the only casualty, it looks like, this year. He retires as a 2-time Stanley Cup champion, I think, and we bought him out at one point, so that's kind of a cool nugget of information, but there we go. Let's take a look at his career. So he played with us for quite a while, goes to Washington for a year, goes to Seattle, or not Seattle, what am I saying? St. Louis, goes to Ottawa, goes to Chicago, comes back to us after we bought him out years ago, and he's been here ever since. He's been a really solid shutdown guy the last few years. And yeah, he wins a Stanley Cup here, he won a Stanley Cup here, and never got a chance with any other team. Almost won one with us in the year one, or the first year that we almost made, or did make the Cup Finals. So shout out to Keegan Strachan. Not a Channel Hall of Famer, but a solid contributor to some Stanley Cup wins. So there's that. And I think that might be it. It's probably it for players with retirements, which is kind of a surprise. I honestly expected a lot more. Yeah, that's it. That is it. That's why I recognize that Sedin guy from Vegas, I think. So yeah, we only had one retirement. One retirement. Let's actually just go to our thing so we can just make sure. Yeah, one retirement, and now with Strachan. So shout out to Strachan. Best of luck in your retirement endeavors. So there's that. We did not lose any coach. That is good. And we did lose our WHL scouts, so we need to probably get back a WHL scout. But final few things to wrap up this episode. Let's take a look at the draft class, the progress reports, and the contract situation. So we'll start off with the contract situation. Do we have any big guys up for renewal this year? Yes. So Darby is probably the big one. He wants a ton of money. I don't know if he can get paid that. That's unfortunate. There's also Bickle, who is likely going to be on the decline, but he does want a lot of money right now. There is also Bomeister, who thinks he's worth a lot. Might be. Sabrin might come back. But, yeah, our bottom six is pretty much the main thing that's up for renewal. What is Zhukov wanting? He wants 5.4. I want him to retire with this team, but I don't know if he's worth that much. Because when we have guys like Yansevsky, Addison, there's a couple other low elites that are all getting close to NHL ready. I think we might need to change up some of the complexion of this team a little bit. Also, Novikov is a pending RFA. He doesn't want a lot of money at all, which is good. Because I thought he would want a lot more than that. But there is still like Bissick and Volk we could give a chance to. There's also Sabern, who's up to a 76 as a high backup. He's actually developing decently. So we have all that to deal with. And in unsigned wise, I don't know if I'll sign any of these guys up to their ELCs, but most of these guys probably will never get to play a game before the end of the series. So there's that. Let's take a look at the progress report, see if we're getting any really good development or drop off. So yeah, Zhukov and Bickle are both on decline. Gamble has jumped off a lot. He's up to a 77 at 19. So Lee Gamble might be in our lineup next season after 2 years in the AHL. So that's good to see. Parrott and stuff like that likely dropping off. Derek Heath as well. Oh man. Yeah, this is going to get a little bit rough with some of the guys dropping off. Yansevsky got some growth. What else we got in the system-wise? Klepis is up to a 71. That's nice. Loins is up to a 75 at 23. He does have that low elite potential still, too. Looks like we're getting a lot of growth in the system, which is good, but I don't think it's going to help us out much because we are running out on time to win that Stanley Cup again. Not that we're going to probably win another one, but still, that's always the goal, you know. So there we go in terms of progress reports. Final thing, the draft class. What are we looking at for the draft? Wow, a franchise guy, Matthew Watson. Jeez. Of course there's a franchise player this year. That's like Wayne Gretzky. See, if we would have missed the playoffs and we would have got first overall, that would have been amazing. But Toronto, I think this is their second year in a row with the first overall pick, if I'm right. I think, unless that was my other series. Because I feel like they just drafted a franchise guy recently. Unless that was Chicago. Because I think they got like a franchise sniper. If they did, they might be getting a franchise playmaker as well, which is nuts. But let's see. We are not picking till probably quite late. Do we got any steals, though, that we could pin? Let's see. Medium elite, that's supposed to go 18th, maybe, but we can't pick that early. Looking more for low elites, I guess. Let's see. There's a one low elite two-way defenseman, Stefan Nables. A couple Germans, actually. Really good shooting for this defenseman, apparently. So we'll pin him. He might be, honestly, one of our picks this year. Theodore Schultz, 5 years out, but we'll still pin him. Casey Cappy. What a name. Casey Cappy, huh? Weston Lamour, listed as a gem. Might be a good first-round option because he's supposed to go second round. Benign. Yeah, this draft actually might be pretty good. Hey, look, there's another Adam Fox. That's funny, but he's from Norway and he plays in Finland. That is hilarious. Ryland Brindamore, the great-grandson of Rod Brindamore. So there we go. Anybody else listed as gems, though? Or a couple gems. Marshall, who's supposed to go early, and Daniel Livingston. or Livingston or something like that. We'll pin him. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Anchorage Ice Tigers Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to another offseason. We are getting very close to the end of the series. And yeah, I'm kind of surprised that this team actually didn't have a lot of retirements. So it will be interesting to see if we're able to maintain our team and make the playoffs again next year. But let me know what you guys think down below. And I'll see you guys next time.